Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
Hey there, my name's Evan, and I am a dumb dad.
Cheers, dummy.
Cheers, dummy. Right there. Cheers with our really strong adult beverages.
The hydrogen cocktail.
With water. A hydrogen cocktail.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, right? It kind of feels like that, doesn't it?
It does feel like that.
Everything's just a little bit tasking right now.
Yeah, everything is a little bit tasking. Doing a lot of things. I'm getting old. You know?
You're getting old?
I'm getting old.
Buddy.
Yeah.
You feeling it? Physically? Mentally?
I don't know. Yeah. No,
Let's unpack
I am feeling it. I am feeling it. So
let's unpack it.
I've been having a week. And
oh, here we go.
We're just going to address something, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
I'm going to address something if you follow us on social media.
Sure.
Rather. All right.
And if you don't, please do.
Thanks for finding the podcast.
Yeah, we post
on.
all kinds of stuff on there.
That's incredible.
We appreciate your support. Thank you.
So, one of them is that, so I've been running a lot lately, getting back into some form of physical fitness.
Yeah,
Don't think I could pass the presidential exam yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, running, pointless. Calisthenics, a little more fun.
Climb a rope, not happening.
Climb a rope. Is that part of calisthenics?
I'm at the age now that when I watch action movies, I go, nah, I'd be dead. Like when somebody has to do a pull-up.
Yeah.
I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Like we joke around about, we talked about it last week about in Batman Begins, Christian Bale lifts Liam Neeson with one arm. There's a one arm full body curl of a 250-pound man.
Yeah.
It's insane. But it's Batman, so you're kind of fine. I mean, I couldn't pull up my own body with two arms. I mean, hanging over I don't know, some penitentiary filled with zombies, and it's just pull yourself up. They're dead.
Be like, enjoy the rest of your life, and just and then just bing bong all the way down to the bottom.
I know, because then even at the last second, you'd think, you know what? I'm going to take out as many as I can. And then you're going to roll your ankle on the landing. And they're just going to eat you.
It's going to slowly eat your brain.
Anyway, I've been running. I've been running 3 miles a day.
Okay. When did you start this?
About a month ago.
Okay.
Something like that.
Is it exponentially easier yet? Or not so much because your knees are can we stop?
Knees are fine.
Oh, good.
I have some sort of injury that I'm not interested in looking into because I'm too busy. I've since stopped running. I haven't ran for a week.
What a dad take. I don't have time for this. Grumble.
I am limping. I'm worried.
Where's the pain?
It's on the outside of my left foot. I'm worried it's stress fracture. Which you can just get as you get older. My mom just recently got one. And it's just I don't know. I was using the bone too much. More than you should.
Yeah. My buddy, other Kevin.
Yeah.
He, I'm not sure if you're other Kevin. One of you guys is other Kevin to each other.
How's your podcast with him?
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he's other Kevin.
He's other Kevin. But, he sprained his foot in his sleep one night. Sprained his ankle.
Yeah.
He woke up and he gets up in the morning and he's like, my ankle, what's happening? I can't walk on it. And he goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, you probably stress dream or something. He's like, what a terrible explanation to you could just kind of feel old, get hurt in your sleep. What are we signing up for?
Oh, nothing. We signed up a long time ago. They're surprised we're still here. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going through is pushing back against the dad in me. It's pushing back against him. Because today I went to the gym and I walked in the door and I was like, you should go for a run. And I was like, or, dummy, just let it heal. Wait until it doesn't hurt to walk. Because I think if
you go run outside or do you run on the treadmill?
I run on the treadmill. It's easier because I can just turn something on, turn the brain off.
I do the same thing. I go for a long walk on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Bit of a speed walk. You ramp up to it. But same thing. I watch like kind of I'll like watch a fantasy football podcast, whatever, talk about the players you're going to need that you don't have, that you're like, yeah, my lineup sucks. I need those guys. And you get those guys because they've been on a run, and then they suck, and then you drop the players anyway, and then the run feels extra pointless, and you're injured in a different way. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind that at all. You got to be doing something though. Running or walking towards nothing. Oh man, pass.
For a while, I was able to run outside and listen to a podcast. But anyway, I do much better just being able to watch something stupid and turn my brain off. It feels so good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
feels so much better.
But now I'm just like limping around the house, and I'm just like, we have a friend's wedding coming up, and I was like, don't.
This weekend.
That's a big reason why I haven't. I mean, the biggest reason should be I'm not healed, but the big reason I'm not running it is because I'm like, because you're gonna injure yourself.
Yeah, I don't really want to be limping around the wedding.
There's going to be someone at the wedding in a boot. I don't want it to be me.
Right.
You don't want to be the person in the boot at the wedding.
Because then you're not crushing the dance floor.
Looking sad with that foot on the chair while everyone on the dance floor, when you're sitting really close to the dance floor so you can see what's going on.
Let's pull your chair closer. You can dance with your upper body.
Smiling without your teeth and clapping.
No, I'm fine.
How low
I'm having a great time over here. I'm having a great time.
How low can you go? They're using your leg as the limbo stick. So then that's one of them. And then the other one is, and if by the time this comes out, you will have seen it, what would be the word? The most visually, like, oh, I could see it one, is in the most recent Parenting Through Time we posted, where I've got a little something going on in my lip.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah.
All right. So another part of getting old is you decide, all right, I should probably take care of these teeth. You know?
I don't know if that's a sign of getting old.
When you haven't been doing it and you're just like, all right, I gotta come on now. Quit messing around. Well, here's the thing. I was going to a dentist. Hold on. I was going to a dentist. You'll appreciate this. I was going to a dentist who was like, before the pandemic, he was a couple years out from retirement. Great dentist. Really nice man.
But phoning it in.
Yeah. And my wife and I knew it. And we'd go there and he'd go, I got, I'm seeing some stuff, but just stay on top of it. I don't want to deal with it. Kind of.
Just stay on
top of it. He wouldn't say that, but like it's what he was saying.
Yeah. Even though you're like, I saw you 4 years ago. Yeah. What part of staying on top of it do you think is going to register with me?
But then I started seeing him regularly because then he makes you feel good about yourself, So you're like, all right, I'll come back.
I do appreciate a doctor / dentist / healthcare provider that doesn't like do any like subtle jabs at your, like we'll just take care of what you bring me. That's the kind of person I want. Willing to joke around, handle what I brought you.
Let's take care of this, and when you get back, we'll fix whatever teeth you have left, I guess.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Well, what we really need to see you be doing is this, and it's like, okay, I know that already.
Yeah.
I sat in the parking lot for 15 minutes before I walked in these doors because of how ashamed I am of what I've been doing to myself. I don't need you to say it to me, too.
You saw how much I squinted my eyes when you touched my gums with the rounded part of the hook. We all know what kind of trouble I'm in here.
I'm sensitive in the gums and sensitive in the heart.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's all connected.
Doc?
Blood all flows through the heart.
Now, can we put ESPN back on and the goggles I'm wearing? Just get to it.
So I went to a new dentist, and they were not nice, not mean, very not even corporate.
Matter of fact.
Matter of fact.
Okay.
They were like, all right, we got some damage control. Let's get it done. So one of them was a crown. So I was like, all right, cool. So I got the crown a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And then today, as of this recording, I went to have the temp taken out and then the permanent one put in.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. I go there. Hi, Kevin. I'm on a first name basis. Never good with everyone. You don't want the dentist office to recognize you. Like,
I don't know. There's something personable to that.
you shouldn't be going to the dentist enough that they're like, that's Kevin.
That's Kevin.
I know it by looking at him.
Okay, clear room 2, please.
Yeah.
And room 1 and 3.
We're done mopping up from the last guy.
Yeah.
So I go in the room and they numb me up, and then the guy's like, all right, I'm in. The dental assistant. What do they call it? Is it just dental assistant?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you've been there enough. You should know.
Gets the clamps. Oh, no, he's George to me.
Yeah. I knew that was coming.
So he takes out these like clamps. So like imagine just like the handles would be like scissors, and then the handle of it goes like down, like curves, and then goes up for 2 clamps to grab a tooth and pull it out. So think of like a big C with at the end of it having clamps. So he goes in there, grabs a tooth, it slips out, and he's like, oh, okay. He's like, sorry. And I was like, you're good. And then he goes again, and he's really trying to get a good grip on it. You can tell he's pushing down hard. The tooth slips out again, but he doesn't close his hand fast enough before he gets my lips right in between that clamp and squeezes as hard as he can, instantly just like popping my lip.
Oh, wow.
Just a nice little, just popping a little cherry on top.
Oh, my goodness. And you felt it because he didn't numb your lip at first.
Oh, I felt it. I was that like cliche of like somebody in the other room who's like, I haven't been to a dentist in a while. I know it's silly. It's silly. And then you hear somebody in the other room go, Gah! And he's like, what was that?
Let me guess. The moment this happened, your hands gripped the armrest a little tighter and your heels came off the chair.
I think I had my hands clasped like a corpse, but
all your knuckles cracked.
Yeah.
And your heels came off the chair.
Yeah. And he was like, sorry. And all I could think was like, that's okay. And I was just like, you have the wedding you're going to on Friday. And you just like popped my lip.
And you just looked like you came out of round 4 against the guy in kickboxing.
And I was like, okay. Okay.
That's fantastic.
And then they spent the rest of the time apologizing profusely. And then I had plans today because we're going away for this trip. I had 3 videos I was planning on filming today.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not filming 3. I'll film 1. I'll film the Parenting Through Time one that we filmed and posted. But I was like, there's no point in this giant, because I posted the Parenting Through Time, and like the 3rd comment on it was just like, what happened?
Okay, so for those of you, go find it on our Instagram or TikTok page, Parenting Through Time. We've done a bunch of them, but the most recent one, it'll be about a week old.
Yeah.
When I saw the 80s version, it goes 50s to 80s.
Yeah.
And I saw the 80s clip, and I thought, what a funny choice to like be talking about.
Where do you think the line came from?
I know, but like, I thought that's really funny that like the guy's talking about kind of getting in fisticuffs with a bloody lip. Like that's a really funny specific choice. And then it goes to the 90s, which is always a note. And then it goes to modern day, and it was like, oh, I wonder what happened to his lip.
Yeah.
Poor Kevin.
Yeah.
Because something happened to his lip.
I don't even know what I was originally.
What the original bit was?
I think the original bit. So yeah, Parenting Through Time. It's always bad parenting, and then, but I think it was gonna be something about school.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be school centric for some reason. I don't know why. It was just that was what stuck in my brain, and then I was like, maybe it'll be like grades. And he's like, the 80s dad also dropped out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll play around. And then I got that. I was driving home. I was like, well, it's going to be a fight.
Yeah. It's going to get him popped in the mouth.
So now I'm like, I look like I've been in a fight. I'm like limping, busted lip.
Yeah.
I look so cool.
Yeah. You should see the kid.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, life is scary and tough, and you. Or dentist's office, I guess.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-huh.
One last part of the story.
Yeah.
That I was cool with the guy. I made sure he didn't. I was like, hey man, it happens. Because I know this guy is like terrified he's going to lose his job. I mean, realistically. Or I could sue him or whatever, which I'm never going to do. Accidents happen. I once, it's not the same, but it's kind of the same. I spilled a whole like full beer into a woman's purse. Like it was those Blue Moon cups where it's like those like long Blue Moon like Pilsner like glasses where it gets like bigger on the top.
Heavy.
Top heavy.
Great design.
I like had the tray and stopped at their table and it perfectly went upside down in her purse. Perfectly upside down. And it was just like
poured it entirely into her purse.
She also could not have been cool. So maybe that's why I was cool today. It was just like pay it forward.
Hey man, there you go. One time, it's so funny that you say that. It's like a 1 in a million thing, like so wild that happened.
So wild.
One time I was with my buddy and we were like working on my car. I think there was something we were doing. I think we were changing out the seats, front seats or something like that in this old Volkswagen that I had. And in order to remove the seats of a car, like there's these clips essentially that sit inside of the, whatever. Otherwise the seat, even when the lever's lifted up, is not just going to freely, obviously, roll off the tracks. There's like these clips that pinch it, are like stoppers. And we were trying to figure out how to remove these clips, and he's like above, like in the back seat, kind of leaning over the front. I'm down on the ground, like near the seat. And just happenstance, like 1 in a million kind of thing. We had like a bunch of the tools on the dashboard. And he went to go grab for the needle nose pliers. And they fell, and I went to catch them, and he went to catch them, and he caught them.
Oh, no.
How you grab needle nose pliers and pinch them, and like in between like the webbing of my thumb and my index finger, he caught them and they pinched me, but he grabbed them like so tight, and then he instantly let go, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but it was like, it hurt so bad. But it was like the weirdest, like if we tried to do that 100 times.
Try that, dude, perfect.
Yeah. You could never do it. It's like kind of the same thing. It just was a wild circumstance. But it reminded me of that because it was like, I was like, even though I was in a lot of pain, it was like, we were laughing because it was like, in what world does that happen? Like that's so rare.
Nightmare.
But hey, here we are. Well, Kevin, I wish the best for you this weekend. I'll back your story up. Got in a fight.
I will say.
Lost a fight.
Lost
a fight with a dentist.
I wasn't able to like come around from it until like noon today. This all happened around 9:30. Because like I wasn't sure from that part of the day if it was like a blood blister or not. Because if it's a blood blister, we're in a lot of trouble.
You're right. Yeah, it's gonna be. There's kind of zero way to hide that.
Jet black. Hey Kev, you got a little I think it's a leech on your
olive
lip?
on your face.
Are you gonna fix that mixed spring green that's still hanging? What is that? Shaved yellow carrot or purple carrot. Gross, but it's fine.
There
just
you go.
An injury.
It's all good. Just an injury. Yeah, we're excited. We'll probably post some stories. We're excited. We're going to a very close friend's wedding. We're all invited. We're all going. Our two families are going. It's so annoying because it's a destination wedding. We all hate destination weddings. It's like 90 minutes from here, so it's a whole drive.
Yeah, so it'll be 6 hours out of LA.
And it's a bunch of the old crew is getting back together again. Mm-hmm. So I'm really pumped. I know I think we talked about this in other podcasts, like getting ready, getting prepped, taking the suit that doesn't fit like a glove anymore to try to fit a little bit more like a glove. You just pants let out a little bit for me.
Like I gotta get another pair of pants.
Yeah. Or do you can you add elastic to the back of these? So yeah, man, we're excited. Looking forward to the weekend. Let's jump into the Dumb Dad moments.
All right, let's do it.
I'm gonna go first because I was kind of trying to do a little bit of a segue. We're getting prepped for this wedding, getting all our ducks in a row. Okay. Excited to go, getting our outfits together, everything going smoothly, and the kiddos, they notice like. Mommy picks out a dress. Daddy's got his suit buttoned up. We're getting going, like, what are we going to wear? All right, let's figure something out. We'll pick out some fun outfits for them or go shopping for them or something. So one of the nights we get out of, or one of the days we get out of school, it's like we're going to go from school to the mall. We're going to go like have my son pick some stuff out. My daughter pick some stuff out. And like immediately in the car after school, they're kind of like, chippy with each other, a lot of energy outside of the day of school, and which is 100% okay for them to be like. Yeah. But at one of those days as a parent where you're like, I don't even remember what happened during the day, but it was like just starting to chip away at me already, getting a little frustrated or getting a little bit annoyed, probably a little easily short fused with the kids.
Yeah.
Not saying anything. We go get mommy. She's done with work. We load up in the car. We're headed to the mall. Everyone go to the bathroom. Why are you, my daughter's like changing. It's like, no. We're leaving the house. Okay. Why are you changing? Like just,
Yeah.
So I was trying to keep it together a little bit. And I honestly wasn't necessarily like pissed off at the kids or anything. I just think it was like, wasn't paying attention to how maybe easily I was getting frustrated with them, like their attitude towards it. So like the first place we go, department store, I think we went to Macy's. So we're like, okay, little boy stuff, girl stuff is downstairs. Okay. So we go downstairs and they're already kind of like running ahead of us, doing the thing that, kids do because they're children. And, so like running ahead of us,
qualifying all this.
I know.
I love the build up of like
because
totally fine.
Yeah.
They're kids. No one should get mad at children. Go on.
What I'm doing
Keep
is saying all the things that I should have been saying to myself the whole time.
Yeah, we're all there.
You're right there with
we were
me.
already at the destination. Like, when's he gonna get here? He started the story.
So we head downstairs. We find like the boys like sort of suiting and like nice wear stuff. Immediately, my kids are like playing tag. And running around all the stanchions, and I'm already like, now I'm annoyed. It's like, we brought you here because you said you wanted to pick something nice out to wear, and you're not even like here with us.
Sure.
Right? And so as he's like taking a lap around me, we've been there for less than 2 minutes. In this department, in this department downstairs. Okay. Now, there's not a lot of people. There's probably a couple workers, and then maybe like 3 or 4 other parents. This is immediately after school, so there's not too many people there. But my son runs around the stanchion, runs right by me, and I go, hey, bud. Didn't acknowledge me. He gets about 10 or 15 feet from me. Hey, buddy. Doesn't acknowledge me. And now he's like down the aisle, taking a lap near another customer, and I go, excuse me! Like loud.
Oh no.
And I didn't even get to me before I was like, what are you doing? Confirmed by the look on my wife's face, looking at me going, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, as soon as I said it, my son turns around like deer in headlights looking at me like, what is happening? And I go, come over here, please. And I go, first of all, that was too much. I'm sorry I yelled. It's like the first thing I said to him. He was just like but sometimes like, not that yelling needs to be the answer, but sometimes when you get their attention like that, where you're like, you need to come talk to me right now.
It's a result.
It is a result. He was looking at me like, I don't know what I've done. I'm sorry. What have I done? I'm sorry. But I was like, that was too much. I apologize for yelling. That was over the top. Also, this is not a playground. We're not running around. We're not playing on stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we brought you here to look around. You're going to help us look around. And then again, like checking with my wife, and she's still looking at me like,
oh, right. Also, I love you, and you're the world. You look at her. What?
I felt so stupid.
Sure.
Because it was like, what are you doing? First of all, really? Who cares? Right? So now we can...
No.
Not fully, but...
That's so unfair to you and your feelings. Like, you're not wrong. They are kids, and they have spent all day playing. All they want to do is play. Homework is boring. They don't understand the point of it to a degree. Like, you have a job, which the goal is to get paid. Yeah. They don't have a goal. They're just like, yeah, I got to do this school stuff, but it's really in between the playing stuff. That's all I care about. So, but they're kids. They play. But the other side of it is they can be annoying. You're allowed to get annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, the error was just not letting him like do another lap. And then when he came by, pit crew, I grab him and go, okay, no more running. Okay,
for sure.
This is not. Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't do that. I like yelled at the car as it drove.
This is a neighborhood.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah. embarrassed myself, embarrassed us.
Yeah, no, you definitely did that.
Yeah,
but
definitely did all that. And I was just like, dude, come on, check yourself a little bit. There's a lot of other ways to get the same point across.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's not that dissimilar from my dumb dad moment. In the regards, I'll just get to it. It's not that dissimilar from my dumb dad moment because, so mine was today, which is funny because it's funny that you're telling this story because a lot of times I've told you about my kids going to department stores and being that way, and you're like, I don't understand that. My children are angels. That never happens.
They really aren't too much like that. I mean, so that's probably why this point I was like, inexcusable. What is it?
So similarly, my daughter has been like incredible with homework.
Yeah.
For a month. I guess we're almost 2 months. Whatever. For about 2 months of school, she's been pretty good about homework, just getting it done, sitting down.
Yeah.
And
feeling motivated to just do it when she gets home. That's it's part of it.
She's doing pretty well in school, so she's also like understanding the work. So she doesn't even have that of like sitting down and going like, all right, walk me through this. Like where she's at the schooling, she's not falling behind or anything, which is part of, I think, what helps her sort through it. And last week we got some resistance to homework, but it got done. And it was like, last week it was a lot of like, all right, I can't leave you alone to do this. I have to now sit with you. And that's fine. I'm happy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But oh God, it was really nice to be able to like do dishes or something while they were doing homework. That was real nice. But now it's like, okay, I guess these are my 45 minutes for 2 pages. And fine. Whatever gets it done. And then today was like a full on just like hitting a wall. Now because last week was like resistance, we were playing around with ideas of like, how can we make this work? Because what we don't want is to plant the seed of like, I hate homework, but it's like, and I know I've talked about this in the podcast before, I don't like homework. And it's an important point of contention with people. Like the internet, that's something the internet can, I don't even know about fight over. I think the people that believe in homework don't weigh in, and that's fine. I think the people that are against it are very loudly against it.
Yeah. Especially, I would say, we can only speak to our experiences so far. Yeah. But it feels like, especially in elementary school. It's like,
I'm only going to speak for elementary school.
Really? Like 4 pages of stuff or whatever? Insane. Now, I will say this, let me interject really quickly. My son's 3rd grade teacher now typically does not assign homework, actually. If they have homework, it's because if they, let's say, weren't staying on task during school when they were doing a worksheet together and they didn't finish it, that comes home for homework. If they were just taking a little bit longer to finish something in the allotted time that they were given, that comes home for homework. But she doesn't necessarily assign, okay, so tonight, after everything we've done today,
see, that's
math, pages 19 through 24, which I actually really appreciate.
I appreciate
because it teaches a couple different lessons there.
It teaches a couple different lessons. It also has a point.
Yes.
Which is what my daughter is struggling with, understandably. She's like, we went over this in the place where I learned.
Yeah.
Why are we doing it?
Repetition.
And I understand some people need it for the repetition to prove that they're learning. Again, the argument can be made. I'm not a doctor. You're not a doctor. I just know.
Whoa.
Dumb doctor. Whatever. We're not going to get into the details of that. But to my daughter, it's like, I don't understand. I like that, what your son's teacher does, because now there's a point to it. Oh, well, you just didn't finish it in school. You got to finish this now.
Right.
Makes sense.
Sometimes she'll send something home. It's not like it's never, but it's rare. More so than not, he brings some stuff that he didn't finish, which I think, again, teaches a couple different lessons. It's like, if you don't want to bring it home, stay on task as much as you possibly can at school, because that's the time you're given to work on it.
Yeah.
And if you're struggling with it and it takes you a little bit longer, no problem. Bring it home. Let's work on it. Let's see if we can figure that part of it out. It just feels like so much of a healthier way to approach schoolwork like that for a 3rd grader.
For a 3rd grader. So my daughter's a 2nd grader.
Yeah.
So she...
being assigned sheets of homework.
She was assigned 2 pages today, and she brought them home, and this probably adds to the frustration. I think as somebody who struggled to learn sometimes, this was extra frustrating because my daughter, like I said, is at the point where she's ahead on the, no, she's right where she needs to be on the work.
Yeah.
So she got like a worksheet of just simple math problems. And it was just like, I don't know, 20 of them. It was a lot, maybe in 30. Like it was, but it was all like 7 plus 5, you know, 6 minus 3. And it was just like, all right, can you do this homework? And then just the resistance and this ignoring. But because what I was talking about earlier of I was trying to break it up because we didn't want to make this relationship where she hated homework.
Mm-hmm.
I gave her like an hour to play because she got home and she was really excited to play with her brother. And I was like, all right, we're going to play for a little bit, guys. And then we're going to do homework. And they could say yes when they're going to get what they want up front.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ice cream first, then we'll eat dinner. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Don't do that, guys. You only make that mistake 12 times before you realize, I don't think they're eating the dinner. So they played. I let her play for like an hour. And then it was like, do you have swim tonight? We got to do this homework. Let's get to it. And then it was a huge struggle. And I was trying different things. It was like, do you want a snack while you do it? Do you want me to time you? Because my daughter can do these math problems. This isn't a brag thing. This is almost more frustrates me thing. It was like, if I timed you and she was into it, she'd get them all right and would get it done. If I was like, you have 2 minutes, go.
She'd do it in less than 10 minutes. Let's say that. In less than 10 minutes.
I'm telling you, if she was into it, I could do it in 2 minutes and she'd get it all done.
I know
what
I'm saying is like what you're describing is so much of what we went through last year, which is like, we tried that too. We tried coming home. All right. Since you were just in school, how about you guys play for an hour? How about we tried all different kinds of things? Like, you want to come home, relax first, relax. And then it's like, then in some ways it felt harder to pull them back into the motivated mode of working on something when I just let you come home and relax, watch an iPad, play with each other, whatever it was that he said he wanted to do instead of doing homework. Sometimes made it feel almost like it was more difficult or something, you know, to get it done. And it was just like,
I remember last year, screens made it more difficult. So
Yeah.
screens is like off the table for us, but
you got to kind of,
but playing,
you got to earn
like,
it. You got to earn
right.
that moment now.
So I got so mad at my daughter. Wasn't yelling or anything, but I was like, she could tell by my tone and my face that I was like pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like fuming because like I didn't want to, and I did not threaten any punishment or anything like that. My instinct told me to do that. My instinct was to be like, great, you're not going to get any screens for the rest of the day, no matter what, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I'm like, I'm not going to do that because like in the back of my brain is going, don't you hate homework?
Yeah.
In the back of my brain is like, you've talked on the podcast and to many people about how you think homework for elementary school is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And yet here you are being kind of a rule follower because you're like, it's a double-edged sword of like, I don't want you to do homework, but it's part of passing second grade. So we got to play ball kind of thing. That's
You kind of got to give them a reality check a little bit, you know, like
it's what we talked about in the Parenting Through Time, which you guys have now since the listeners have now since watched. And they're like, that life is gross.
that had to hurt.
Yeah, wow. And then I had to like leave the room and sit down in where we are now in the office where my wife was working and just like talk her through it. And she was just like, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
And she was nice enough to be like, I'm not going to be so naive to be like telling you you're overreacting as someone who's not been there, you know, which I appreciate because I think it's easy for another parent. I know I've done it to her, albeit maybe in my head, where you walk in a room and go, well, this is a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, yeah, you haven't been there for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You missed the warm up.
It's hard to not think that way because in some way you're not wrong. The person who's walking into the room or hearing it, as in my wife's case of me coming in and telling her, of being like, you're not wrong to be like, you're an insane person. That is a child in there that you're wildly
You're coming in hot.
To. But then the flip side is like, I'm also a person as well, and I have feelings.
Well,
and they can only get stomped on so many times.
Here's the thing that, at least for me, I'll say this. Last year when I found myself in those same situations, same conversations, trying to motivate my son, find a way to have him just acknowledge that he just needs to do it. what you're frustrated with is her inability to see that if she just said, okay, I'll do it, it'll take you less than 10 minutes.
Yes.
But instead, we've spent 55 minutes delaying and arguing about it. And how do you get them to gain that perspective? I'm not really sure sometimes. That's the challenge of it. And what becomes very frustrating, because
it's like that.
Okay, just think about this for a second. All this arguing, you would have been done. Like, you would have been done. And then if you say it to them, like, you would have been done if you would have just done this. Then it's like they feel, you're like, no, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, like, you're, they're shortchanged in their ability to understand something, and which is not their fault. They're learning as well.
How do you teach them? What is that nursery rhyme of, like, I don't know. It's a nursery rhyme. I don't know if they're going on a bear hunt and you have to go through things, and it's like, you can't go under it, can't go over it, can't go around, gotta go through it. Like, you can't wrap your head around the fact that, like, what you want to say to them is, hey, homework sucks, right? Yeah, it sucks. It's the worst. It's annoying. You're just doing this in school, and then you got home. Oh, I've got freedom. No, you don't. You have to do the school stuff still at home. Schoolwork at home. That sucks. Here's the best way to get through it. Do it. Nah, that sounds like a trap. I know it does.
Yeah.
Just trust me. Do it as fast as you can, the best you can, and it'll be over. But yeah, then they sit there for an hour to 2 hours, and you're like,
hemming and hawing
you did
over
this to
it.
yourself.
Yeah. You're doing this.
Yeah.
We tried. Okay, don't do it. Don't do your homework.
Same.
Do you like third grade? Yeah. Do you want to stay in third grade? Yes. Okay. Then, or second grade. If you want to stay in second grade, then you have to do your homework, because every other kid in your class went home and did their homework.
But
if you choose not to do it,
then he gets to do second grade forever.
I know, that's kind of the part of the conversation. If you don't do any of your homework, you'll have to do second grade again, and then all your friends and all your classes, they're going to go on to third grade, and then you're going to be in second grade again. Didn't like that.
I gave him a huge spiral.
Spiral, and then, but it's just trying to be honest about stuff. Going like, if you this, then this, but it's like, that's the reality of that.
We did something
and we tried
similar.
so hard to give him the explanation of, like, you can choose. But I'll tell you this, if you want to choose not to do your homework, then I'm not going to force you to do your homework.
Right.
But you will have to go to school tomorrow and tell your teacher, I didn't do my homework because I didn't want to do it.
That was the one we did.
Yeah, and then that was the one that more often that would kind of work. And
Same.
Once in a while, you'd have to go through the cycle, actually, like 2 or 3 times, which felt wild. It was like, you get to there, okay, I'll do it. And then 3 math problems later, complaining again, tears. Or, it's like, what's the matter? I just don't want to do it. And it's like, okay, we just had this whole conversation about you don't want to do it, but you should do it because everyone's doing it. And you want to, like, did you forget all? It's like you got to kind of go through the cycle again. Then eventually it's just like it just sits there and does it.
Yeah.
And then when everybody's calm and all the emotions are calm, and it's a while later, just go, so tomorrow when you come home and you feel very frustrated about doing your homework and you don't want to do it, and you also don't want to not do it because you don't want to go tell your teacher, we'll just do our homework. Okay. And then the next day the whole thing starts over again.
It's all cycle.
It's like,
we had a talk after her and me, my daughter and I. And it was very frank and honest. And I was like, pulled her aside, which was funny because she definitely thought she was getting yelled at. She finished her homework. She put it away. And I was like, come here. Because her brother was there, still bouncing off the walls.
mm-hmm.
And we went in a room. We sat on the bed. And I was like, hey. I was like, I'm sorry. You could tell I was getting mad. And that's not fair. Especially because I don't like homework either. I think it's kind of stupid. I think it's kind of dumb that second grader should do homework. And she goes, yeah, it feels like they should probably teach us this stuff at school. I was like, I know.
How would you know how to do your homework if you don't? Okay, never mind.
But you were like, you're not wrong. They should just leave this at school. And I was like, and she goes, kids should never have to do homework. And I was like, and I said to her, it's funny you brought up high school or whatever. I was like, I can't speak to high school. I was like, that's where we're going to be learning a lot of stuff and going into details. And this is what a paper is and writing papers and stuff. It's not just math. Right now it's just math. But it was like a long talk, and it was just like, let's just get through it. It was kind of like, let's tomorrow without saying tomorrow. It was like, let's just get through it next time, power through it, and then we can. I'm not kidding. I said to her, you have such a busy schedule. You've got like baseball on Mondays, swim on Tuesdays, violin on Wednesdays, swim on Thursdays, nothing on Friday, but you don't get homework on Friday. I go, if you finish your homework, I don't care how long you're on screens for. Because you got to be somewhere in a couple hours.
You got to be somewhere to do something else.
As soon as you finish your homework, screen time and snacks until it's time to walk out the door and do something for you. So can we please just make the hard part easy?
Yeah. This year, I will say so far my son's been pretty good about it. Today he was struggling to not want to read for 30 minutes. When part of his progress report came home, he is not at any concern of the teacher, but performing a little bit subpar in like gaining contextual information from text.
Yeah.
Which his
knows
teacher,
what he's reading.
What's that?
Remembers what he's reading.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I struggle with that heavily. I mean, in high school when I'd have to do stuff, I'd read a page and then read a second page and read a third page and then realize I have no idea what I just read, even though I read all the words.
Sure.
And I have to start over again.
Because you read John.
I wonder if the Seahawks are going to win this weekend. I think it would be cool to be a Seahawk, and then I could be. What if I would be a quarterback for this? As I'm like reading words.
Yeah.
I wish I was King Griffey Jr. I'd be his friend, and I could play. Like whatever I'm thinking of, not the text that my eyes are glossing over. But anyway, so his teacher explained in third grade is when you really make the transition from learning to read to reading to learn. And it's very hard because it starts with sight words, and then it starts with big, 5-word sentences, and then you get into where he could read.
Yeah.
And then you read a bunch of fun stuff like Mo Willems, Piggy and Gerald books and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's fun to read. And then you get into third grade, and it's like, okay, read this information about gaining the rights to vote. And then tell me about it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, well, you have to explain it. So
he goes, Dad,
let's
can you
let's
explain
talk
it to
about
me?
Not off the top of my head, but if I read it, I
your
can
work.
Yeah. So just gaining like perspective on what you've read as your opinion on it from the facts that you read, like that is a massive, massive transition. And that's what we're doing right now. So it's hard to do. I mean, it's a very, very difficult thing to do. So we've sort of challenged him to do his 30 minutes reading a day, but also separately go onto like his school issued like a device that they give him and do some of the reading exercises you do, like do it out loud, do that for half an hour as well. And he was just like, extra work. And I was like, well, this is how you get better at things. That's kind of part of the conversation. Right. I really want to stay in third grade. He goes back to all that stuff. And it's like, great. Then let's do the work that it takes to do that kind of stuff. Because if you hope it'll get better, I can tell you it won't. I have hoped I would get better at all kinds of stuff.
I hoped they'd get the tooth out the right way the first time.
Hoping, it's not going to all of a sudden just magically make you better at something. You got to work at it. So sometimes I feel like, with whether it's going for a run or doing these things, you show the kids without even telling them or getting their attention to physically show them, just getting better at something in front of them. Sure. And they will see that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Could be you want to get better at drawing.
Or
could
they
be whatever
won't
it is.
See it, and then they won't realize it until their 30s and go, oh, man. Oh, well.
I should go to the dentist.
That's why Dad was so sweaty for all those years. He was trying to get in shape. I thought he was grosser then. I thought that was when he was at his grossest. It was when he was so smelly and wet. That was him trying to be better.
I thought he was just yelling in the garage. Turns out he was working out.
Now he's got that boot.
Hey man, that feels like a good place to end it. That's good stuff. It's good progress. I think we'll have a good time this year.
I don't know if it's progress, but
well, maybe not. But
we'll see.
Going over the stuff at school, things are only going to get more complicated for our little kiddos in school, and so it's up to us to figure it out, and which is daunting to say the very least. Remain patient with your children.
If you're a parenting expert, email us. Or if you have done parent moments,
yes,
email us. dumbdadpod@gmail.com, or DM us on Instagram at the Dumb Dads, which is our handle on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, where you can watch full episodes of this podcast and watch them, guys. Give us a subscribe, click the bell, all the fun stuff that you see on the YouTube. We're posting them on there. We're extending press conferences. We're gonna experiment with other videos, like we said we were gonna do. We have been doing that, having some videos horizontal, or just having longer versions of them. So if you enjoy ones, we'll have them go longer.
We're just always hey, listen, you know what? We're always trying to get better. Trying
to make the content more fun for you guys, more dynamic.
For sure.
Dynamic. What a dumb word.
God. Okay.
Loser.
Let's start over.
All right. Do you have a joke?
I do have a joke.
All right.
I got a joke just for you, buddy.
Go.
What is the best kind of book to read at this time of year?
Fallbrook?
No. Gore to the Rings.
That's what it's called.
No, but it's a play on words. Your favorite series. I'm trying to think of one person's name. Samwise. Who's the wizard? Gandalf. Gordolf. I don't know. I got nothing for you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?